For the second episode of our 3-part series on the pathway of radicalization and violence, we'll be focusing in on purpose. Purpose and identity are often intertwined. However, without purpose, one's identity cannot really be secured. What good is being something if that something isn't useful? If we go back to episode 1, we use the metaphors of buckets, of identity, purpose, and community that were buckets that needed to be filled. To fill the identity bucket, we tried to answer the question, who am I? And to fill the purpose bucket, we are trying to answer the question, what am I here for? As is often the case, purpose and identity go hand in hand. What you latch onto as your identity often provides the answer to what your purpose should be, and vice versa. Now, this might not always be as clear-cut with the more complex and mixed identities, but because these two are so intertwined, a shock to one can lead to a shock in the other. However, someone's purpose, unlike their identity, can often be easier to define. They can be very broad, like fighting for social justice or restoring national values, exceptionally large, broad topics that have a lot of different elements underneath it, but are far more easier to decipher motivation when it comes to someone's behavior. And that's how we can tie this to our understanding of the pathway of radicalization. Remember, to not know who, what, or why you are here is unacceptable to the human mind. Much like with identity, if our brain can't figure out a purpose, it'll force itself to go find one. The one unique thing about purpose is that it can actually be the lead dog. It can be the magnet that attracts identity and community. Because of that often simple, broad messaging, it can act as a much larger well to fill a lot of those individual buckets. And as such, those often destructive messages can resonate with individuals a lot easier. The best way to disrupt this, though, is to not demean or argue with someone's purpose, but to showcase and highlight other purposes that might resonate with the individual. Other purposes that have the power to fill that identity bucket, as well as the next and final part of this series, community. So make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that episode. And if you'd like to explore more ways of how to prevent radicalization and violence, go to tvtpsolutions.com.